I adjusted my gray maintenance uniform, watching from the back of the auditorium as Anderson Global celebrated my father's retirement. 40 years as CEO, and his crowning achievement was about to be announced. And now, the interim CEO smiled, the future leadership of Anderson Global. My sister Victoria preened in her front row seat, her designer suit perfectly pressed. She'd spent years cultivating her image as the heir apparent, while I'd spent mine learning every aspect of our business, starting from the ground up. The board has made its decision, he continued. But first, let's discuss office assignments for our departing CEO's children. Victoria's smile widened. Everyone knew the executive suite was being renovated for her, or so she thought. Victoria Anderson will assume control of our Pacific division, he announced. Your office is on the 32nd floor. Her smile faltered slightly. The executive offices were on 40. And Sarah Anderson. He paused, checking his notes. You'll be based in building maintenance. Your office is on B2. Suppressed laughter rippled through the crowd. Victoria shot me a triumphant smirk. I kept my expression neutral, continuing to dust the back railings. For 6 months, I'd worked as a janitor, learning our operations from the bottom while the board executed our carefully planned strategy. Enjoy your office, Victoria whispered as she passed me later. Though I suppose a mop closet suits you. If she only knew that her Pacific Division role was temporary, that the real announcement was coming in exactly 1 hour. My phone buzzed silently in my pocket. Another update from the real executive floor, where the final preparations were being made. I pushed my cleaning cart into the service elevator heading to B2. The maintenance staff greeted me warmly. They'd become my most valuable allies during my undercover work. Ready for the big reveal, Ms. A? Carlos, our head of maintenance, winked. Almost, I smiled, checking my watch. Victoria's still celebrating her promotion upstairs. Bet she never bothered to learn how the building actually runs, he chuckled. Or the names of the people who keep it running, I agreed, thinking of all the lessons I'd learned in my mop closet office. My phone vibrated again. Board assembly complete. Awaiting final announcement. I changed quickly in the maintenance locker room, my janitor's uniform hiding tailored business attire underneath. The past 6 months had taught me more about our company than 20 years of board meetings ever could. The intercom crackled. Would the board president please come to the executive floor? Victoria's voice echoed down the hall. Finally. My real position is about to be announced. I smiled, removing my maintenance cap. She'd never noticed that her janitor sister had been absent from every board meeting for the past 6 months, because Sarah Anderson, board president, had been running them under a different name. Time for the real announcement, I murmured, heading to the executive elevator. The boardroom fell silent as I entered, still in my janitor's uniform but carrying the authority of 6 months of undercover leadership. Where's the board president? Victoria demanded from her seat. We're waiting for the real leadership announcement. Actually, I smiled, removing my maintenance badge. The board president is right here. Though you might know me better as the new janitor in B2. The color drained from her face as I walked to the head of the table, revealing my business attire beneath the uniform. This is impossible, she whispered. No, I corrected her, pulling out the signed leadership documents. This is what happens when you actually learn how your company works, from the ground up. The interim CEO stood, smiling. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Sarah Anderson, board president and new CEO of Anderson Global. Victoria's designer purse slipped from her fingers as the truth finally hit her. While she'd been practicing her acceptance speech, I'd been learning our company's heart, one maintenance shift at a time. The Pacific Division is still yours, I assured her. Though you might want to learn your maintenance staff's names. They know more about operations than most executives. My phone buzzed. Press release ready. Anderson Global announces new CEO. Time to show them what 6 months in a janitor's closet had really taught me about running a global corporation. The next morning I sat in the CEO's office, my office, reviewing the maintenance logs alongside quarterly reports. The executive suite had been redesigned to my specifications. Transparent walls, open layout, and a direct line to every department, including maintenance. Ms. Anderson, my assistant entered. Your sister and father are here. They've been waiting in the lobby for an hour. I checked the security feed. Victoria looked shell-shocked in her designer suit, while our father seemed caught between pride and confusion. Give them another 10 minutes, I said, signing off on both a major acquisition and updated maintenance protocols. Let them experience how it feels to wait. When they finally entered, they found me reviewing building operations with Carlos, our head of maintenance. So we'll upgrade the HVAC system next month, I was saying. Your team's input on the contractors was invaluable. Sarah, our father started, then stopped, taking in the transformed executive floor. Please sit, I gestured to the modern chairs. Carlos will continue this at the staff meeting. Yes, Chief, he smiled, nodding to my family as he left. The respect in his voice was genuine, earned, not inherited. Victoria stared at his retreating form. You're consulting janitors about operations? I'm consulting experts about their areas of expertise, I corrected. Something I learned during my time in B2. This is absurd, she burst out. 6 months as a janitor doesn't qualify you to run a global corporation. No, I agreed, pulling up our company metrics. But 20 years of learning every aspect of our business does. The maintenance work was just the final piece. Our father leaned forward, studying the numbers. These results are from my 6 months as board president, I finished. While Victoria was practicing her CEO speech, I was implementing changes based on ground-level insights. My phone buzzed with updates. Efficiency up 40%, staff turnover down 60%, productivity reaching record levels. But the board, Victoria whispered, knew exactly who I was, I smiled. They approved my undercover work. After all, how better to evaluate a potential CEO than seeing how they treat every level of employee? My assistant appeared with more files. The Wall Street Journal wants to feature your CEO in the basement story. And the maintenance team's innovation program is trending on business networks. Victoria's face crumpled. Innovation program? Yes. I pulled up the initiative on my screens. Turns out the people who keep our company running have brilliant ideas for improving it. They just needed someone to actually listen. Our father watched this exchange with growing understanding. The maintenance badge you always wore was real, I confirmed. Every certification, every skill set. I can now fix an industrial HVAC system and negotiate a billion-dollar merger with equal expertise. This isn't how things are done, Victoria protested weakly. No, I stood, walking to the transparent walls. This is better. Look. Below us, the company hummed with new energy. Departments that had never interacted were collaborating. Maintenance staff were attending executive meetings, their practical knowledge proving invaluable. Your corner office is still waiting, I told Victoria. Though you might want to spend some time in B2 first. Learn what I learned. You want me to be a janitor? She asked incredulously. I want you to be a leader, I corrected. And that means understanding every level of what you lead. My phone lit up again. Employee satisfaction reaches all-time high under new CEO structure. Dad, I turned to our father. Remember when you said true leadership comes from understanding your company's foundation? He nodded slowly. Well, I smiled. I took that literally. Spent 6 months learning from the people who maintain that foundation. And now, the screens displayed our soaring metrics, innovative programs, and transformed corporate culture. Now we're actually living our company values, I continued. Every voice matters. Every role is respected. Every insight is valuable. Victoria stood abruptly. This isn't what we were raised for. No, I agreed. We were raised to be executives who never left their towers. I chose to build something better. My assistant appeared again. The maintenance team's quarterly review is ready. And they've submitted 15 new efficiency proposals. Thank you, I nodded. Please tell them I'll review their ideas personally, just like when I was working alongside them. After they left, our father finally spoke. You've changed everything. I've improved everything, I corrected gently. The numbers prove it. The culture shows it. And the people who actually keep this company running, they finally have a voice in how it's run. Victoria gathered her designer purse, her world of executive privilege crumbling around her. The board will never accept this long term. The board, I smiled, is currently touring our maintenance facilities, learning what I learned. Turns out understanding your company from the ground up is contagious. As they left, I returned to my reports, both maintenance logs and financial statements. The company I'd discovered from the basement was far stronger than the one I'd known from the boardroom. 1 month later, Anderson Global had transformed beyond recognition. The rigid hierarchy had been replaced by a collaborative structure where maintenance chiefs attended board meetings and executives spent time learning ground-level operations. I reviewed the morning reports from my office, now relocated to a central floor, halfway between the executive suite and maintenance level. Symbolic perhaps, but effective. "Ms. Anderson," my assistant entered, "your mother is here. She's been waiting in the new common area." I checked the monitors. She sat stiffly in our redesigned lobby where executives and maintenance staff now shared the same space, looking uncomfortable as cleaning crews and division heads mingled over coffee. "Send her up," I said, approving both a major merger and a maintenance team's efficiency proposal. When she entered, her eyes widened at my office setup, maintenance logs displayed alongside market reports, a tool belt hanging near my business awards. "Sarah," she started, clutching her designer handbag. "This is different." "Different works," I replied, pulling up our latest results. Profits up 45%, efficiency increased 60%, employee satisfaction at record levels. "But your sister," she began, "is doing well in the Pacific Division," I finished. "Though I hear she finally learned her maintenance team's names." Progress. My phone buzzed, another innovation proposal from the ground crew. They'd become our most valuable source of operational improvements. "The charity board is concerned," my mother said carefully. "Your new approach, it's not how things are done." "You mean letting the help have a voice?" I smiled slightly. "Actually, it's exactly how things should be done. Watch." I pressed the intercom. "Carlos, could you join us?" Our head of maintenance entered, now wearing a hybrid uniform we developed, professional enough for board meetings, practical enough for hands-on work. "Mrs. Anderson," he nodded respectfully. "I was just reviewing the energy efficiency proposals with the executive team." My mother blinked, watching him pull up complex technical data on my screens. "The basement crew's ideas will save us millions," he explained. "Just like your daughter's innovations when she worked with us." "Worked with you?" my mother whispered. "Best maintenance trainee we ever had," he grinned. Though we didn't know she was the future CEO at the time. After he left, my mother sat heavily in a chair. "You actually worked as a janitor?" "Yes." "Fixed HVAC systems, cleaned floors, learned every aspect of our operations." I gestured to my certification badges. "All real, all earned." My phone lit up. Forbes. Anderson Global's revolutionary management model, from basement to boardroom. "The social implications," she started, "are exactly what we needed," I cut in. "Look." The screens showed our transformed company culture. Maintenance staff presenting innovations to boards, executives learning practical operations, barriers breaking down everywhere. "Victoria says you're making her take maintenance shifts," my mother said quietly. "Optional but recommended," I corrected. "Though she's learning more about actual leadership in B2 than she ever did in her corner office." My assistant appeared with more files. "The World Business Council wants you to keynote their conference. Topic: Breaking Down Barriers, the New Corporate Culture." "Schedule it," I nodded. "And please invite our maintenance team. They're the real experts on breaking barriers." After my assistant left, my mother studied me, her janitor daughter turned CEO, still proudly displaying her maintenance credentials alongside her executive degrees. "Your father built this company on tradition," she said softly. "And I'm building it on truth," I replied. "The truth that every role matters. That leadership means understanding all levels. That the best ideas can come from any floor of the building." My phone buzzed again. "Anderson Global sets new industry standards for inclusive management and operational efficiency." "The charity gala next month," my mother said hesitantly. "Will you attend as CEO?" "I'll attend as Sarah Anderson," I smiled. "CEO, certified maintenance technician, and proud student of every person in this building." "And Victoria?" "Will be there too, possibly with some practical knowledge to share, if she takes her basement shift seriously." My mother stood, smoothing her designer dress. This isn't the company we expected you to run. No, I agreed, watching our transformed operations on the screens. It's better. Real. And it works. After she left, I prepared for my next meeting, a joint session with board members and maintenance crews, discussing innovations that could only come from combining their perspectives. My phone lit up one final time. Business schools study, the Anderson model, breaking hierarchy, building success. I smiled, remembering Victoria's words. A mop closet suits you. She was right in ways she never imagined. That closet taught me more about leadership than any executive suite. It showed me the true foundation of our company, not the boardroom where decisions were made, but the basement where our reality was maintained. Now every office in Anderson Global had elements of both, practical tools alongside business plans, hands-on knowledge supporting executive decisions.